Alright, how's it going? King of the Zeds here, and this video is for anyone who is kind of still new to 7 Days to Die and wants to figure out how the hell to get through those first few days and survive. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, my first tip for you is quite simply to do the tutorial. It might seem boring, might seem pointless, but it's definitely worth doing for the sole reason that you get some free skill points. Now, tip number 2 is to gather as much resource as you can on the way to the trader. And one of the reasons for always carrying stone on you is so that you can repair your axe. Now, my next tip is to always carry a handful of frame shapes around with you. So using some of the wood that you have collected on your way to the trader, make, 10 to 15 frame shapes and just keep them in your hotbar. And the reason for this is that if you haven't heard of nerd polling, it's one of my favorite terms in gaming. I don't know why it's called nerd polling, but essentially it's going to save your life one day. So in an absolute pinch, even if you're in the middle of nowhere and you need to escape something to maybe get a bit more stamina, place a frame shape, jump on top of it, jump up, place another one, jump up, place another one, jump up, place another one, and you are momentarily out of harm's way. Now, that's only going to buy you a certain amount of time if you're in the middle of nowhere and the zombies start attacking the actual pole that you've created. It's actually more useful in the town when you are able to use that technique to get up on top of a roof or something, which is a lot more safe. Now, my next tip is to choose your skills wisely in these early stages. It's especially important. I highly recommend parkour as one of the first skills that you should be trying to get to at least level 2 in. That in itself is going to be a lifesaver. What it means is you can jump over something that is 2 squares high or 2 blocks high, whereas at the moment right now I can't get on top of that. And also regular zombies are not able to get on top or jump over that. Now you'll have to weigh this up against whether you want to go into parkour first if you want to be able to run away and jump over things to escape to safety, or I highly recommend going into a strength-based melee skill early game as well. So Pummel Pete is essentially using clubs. Skull Crusher is using sledgehammer. The main difference between the two is that clubs work a lot quicker. You can get a lot more strikes off with a club, but they're slightly less powerful per hit than with the sledgehammer. Now, both of these are quite easy to make. You've already made your wooden club as part of the tutorial. The sledgehammer is just as easy to make, so let's just type in here, sledgehammer. You can make a stone sledgehammer quite easily. And like I said, it's going to be a personal choice whether you prefer something slower but more heavy hitting or something a bit quicker. Now, the problem with both of those is that they use a lot of stamina. So that means you're also probably quite early on going to want to go into this Sexual Tyrannosaurus perk, which allows you to use those melee tools without such a penalty to your stamina. Now, a bit of a bonus tip. This isn't really directly to do with survival, but it is good for progression anyway, and that is to do the trader missions. So come and speak to your local trader, the one that your tutorial mission just sent you to, and then just start doing jobs. Just go through, pick the closest ones. It says how far away each mission is. Pick the closest ones, complete those missions, come back to the trader. You can probably do 3 in a day in the early days, and that's a great way to get some cool rewards from the trader and also to level up and get extra experience points for completing those missions. Now, my next tip for surviving the early game is to create a safe space for yourself. Essentially what this boils down to is finding a house, probably a house or a small barn. You don't want to be going for any POIs that are much bigger than that. And just clearing it out and making a safe space for yourself on the upper floors. So let's go and quickly do that now. Now the next tip I've got for you is to make the most of your bow and arrow by sneaking around, holding C to crouch, and then getting headshots. As long as you actually hit the thing. Because you'll often find it can take out a sleeping zombie in one Now let's see if we can get this guy. There we go. That is the safest way to take out zombies. Okay, so we've cleared out our house that we're going to turn into our safe space. How do we actually make it a safe space? Well, the reason I talked about picking a house with 2 levels is that we're going to make the top floor our safe space by simply knocking out the stairs to get up. So let's deal with this guy first. Okay. What we need to do here is just take our axe and then knock out, actually let's start from the bottom, knock out the first 2 levels. So we've knocked out the first 2 levels of stairs. Now, if we haven't got to parkour level 2 yet, which we haven't quite because we're literally starting here on day 1 with you, you won't be able to jump up there, but that's good because that means the zombies won't be able to either. But what you have that the zombies don't have is a whole bunch of frame shapes that you can jump up on and use to bunny hop up the stairs. So remembering to pick up the block that you put down so that zombies can't then use it. You've essentially created a safe space for yourself. So remember to check all entrances. So we've got 2 sets of stairs in this particular house. So we'll take out the bottom 2 levels of this internal set of stairs next. And there we have it, our safe space is complete and ready for use. Now my next tip for surviving the early game is to try to craft a pipe gun as early as possible. So I've already picked up a couple of glues just from looting this house, which I haven't even looted fully as I was clearing it out. All you need is a couple of glue, some wood, which you should already have, and 4 short iron pipes, and you can craft either a pipe, machine gun, pistol, rifle, or shotgun. Now, I personally would go for either the machine gun or the pistol because they're the only ones that are going to give you a fast rate of fire in a sticky situation. Now, in this case, I've picked up 6 9mm ammo, which is for the pistol, so if I was going to be trying to craft a gun right now, then I would probably go for the pistol because that's what I've got the ammo for. But yeah, how do you get the pipe if you haven't got the pipe? You've got glue, you've got wood. Well, you can get pipe usually from taking apart things in the kitchen, such as a sink. So we've got 3 pipe just from that sink. And there we go, we have it already. So let's craft up that pipe pistol. And like I said, I would only really use this for emergencies because in these very early days, ammo is going to be very hard to come by. Now, the next tip that I've got for you is about how to create an easy to build and easy to maintain horde base that's going to help you survive day 7. So for that, that's going to take a whole extra video. So check out this next video and I'll go into all the details in that video. See you there.